Welcome back. Welcome back to the Pop Culture Corner. This is The Daily Show. TY's Corner brought to you by Pop Culture Corner and Bonk's Bar all of February and March. How's everyone doing today? Got a bit of weird news this morning. Not sure how I feel about it. Got some J.J. Abrams stuff going on. We saw Wandavision last night. But guys, before we get into all that, make sure you subscribe to the channel if this is your first time here. If you're returning, we do thank you. We hope that you like the show and become a part of our Patreon program. Our Patreon program, you get access to all that exclusive shit, including early access to podcasts, early access to pre-recorded programming. These are the guys that have helped out so far. We've only had the program for a couple weeks. Caden Reed, Nick DePalma, and Odd. We do appreciate you. It is a new thing we're trying to do, so more behind-the-scenes content will be coming soon. But yes, we do have new content weekly. And like I said, get free merch, discounted merch, yearly gifts on us, all that jazz. But before we get lost on that, so yeah, we got some news about J.J. Abrams and his Superman movie. Now, I've said this from the beginning that I'm not totally opposed to a Superman movie made by J.J. Abrams. There's another guy involved in it too, like something. I can't say his name correctly, but that's okay. I'm not here to pronounce names. I'm here to talk about that shit. But I'm not totally opposed to this. How are you guys feeling about this? Let us know in the comments. I do have producer Jack behind backstage. So we'll be talking about that today. And we'll talking about Wandavision. Wandavision episode 8 was a good episode. Gave us a little bit of backstory. But again, in my opinion, this episode should have been 3 episodes ago, right? We should have already been knowing all this stuff. And we should have already been like these last 2 episodes, the penultimate, typically that's your go-to episode for hammering away at the action or visuals or whatever. This episode was decent. Was it the best episode? I'm going to say no. But has this been the best series? Probably not. So we'll get into all that right now. I'm going to bring in producer Jack. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How's my mic level?
It's good. Look at
I'm always worried that beeping is going to come back. Like, I don't know why. Like, it's like a curse or something.
It's a curse. It is a curse. But that's okay. We're here now, and we're doing well. So guys, we're gonna start it off with Superman today because I do have a lot to say on this. So J.J. Abrams. So this is coming out of. So the first place I saw it at was comicbook.com. Now I don't know if it came out of anywhere else.
Deadline.
So Deadline's even.
That's the source. That's when we posted about it to find the source. Yeah. So
okay.
It's Deadline.
That's why I bring you on, right? That's why I bring you because you get all the source stuff. Mm-hmm. But so the first place I saw it was comicbook.com. So that made me a little bit skeptical, as anyone would be. I was just a little bit hesitant to be like, okay, is this true? Because as we know, comicbook.com, right? They're like here. Deadline though, boop, right up here. So that's good news. Listen, again, I'm not totally opposed to this.
It feels like, look, first of all, we don't know. People are assuming it's going to be a black Superman, which I'm okay with because a lot of people are automatically going to assume, oh, that means they're making Clark Kent black, which is not the case. There is a black Superman in the comics. His name is Calvin Ellis. I have not read that version of Superman. I heard it's kind of cool. I don't know if you've read it. So it's not like that. So look, I'm trying to be positive here. We have 3 Batmen at the moment. We have Robert Pattinson in one universe. Right. We're going to have Keaton and Affleck in one universe. All right. Am I against them doing Calvin Ellis? Absolutely not. And I think it could be really cool. Do I think that this is Warner Brothers trying to make sure the Snyder Cut is not successful? Yeah, my tinfoil hat goes up. Vin, how you doing? James, how you doing? Yeah, so I'll be honest with you. I will give it the benefit of the doubt. And this is after me like saying a Hail Mary and taking a cold shower to kind of calm down when I saw this news. I saw it trending. I was not happy about it. I'm still not that happy about it, but I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt.
Right, and I think that's where we need to take it. We need to right? We need to bulk in and we need to back it up a little bit. Back it up. Because, listen, with the whole multiverse storyline happening, it's not a stretch. It's not a stretch to say that this could be some multiverse version of Superman where they bring in someone, it's clearly happening after the Flash movie. We don't know what the Flash is going to do to the main continuity of DC yet. We don't know. So I don't think this is something we need to jump up all in arms about, but I think we need to embrace it. And who knows, we might be jumping the gun on a lot of things here.
Yeah. I just hope it's not a way to kind of get rid of Henry. Because look, I'll give you an analogy. They did Superman Returns back in 2006. I was young. I liked it. In hindsight, it wasn't a good movie, but I enjoyed it. I was happy just to see Superman on screen. Brandon Routh didn't become a star. So I think that was one of the reasons they never made a sequel to it. They were like, okay, this guy's not. Henry Cavill right now, everyone knows who he was. They didn't maybe not know in 2013, maybe not even in 2016 that he's Superman. Right now, he is hot. He's on The Witcher. They're talking about rumors of him doing a Mass Effect movie. He tweeted something where he had a script. Mass Effect is one of the biggest video game franchises. He is hot right now. Why would you not bring him back? I
can agree.
My issue is, and I'm going to try to be very on the line here, is that author, Ta-Nehisi Coates. I like him. I've seen him on Bill Maher. I have seen him on MSNBC. I read excerpts of his book. I haven't read his comic book stuff. But he is, and there's an example in his book where he talks about that. He's the type of guy that, if you cut him off in traffic, he would automatically assume it's because you're a white supremacist. Like that type of thinking. Yeah.
Interesting.
He doesn't know that you're just a mean person like I do. No, I'm just joking. I'm joking.
Yeah,
but you know what I mean? Like, he gives an example in his book like this where someone said something to his son or did something to his son. And while it was kind of annoying what happened to his son, it's like, well, maybe that person was just a jerk, Yeah. And he has some things that people need to hear, but I don't necessarily agree with everything he says. He kind of he does something where he kind of paints all white people as like, like either you're a racist or you're part of the system and, that type of thing. Now, again, there are things that he says I like, but that's the type of thing he writes. Okay. I'm not saying he can't write a good movie, but I feel like this,
I've never heard of him.
Yeah, he's on. I watch MSNBC a lot, and he's on there a lot. And I like some of the things he said. I also don't like some of the things he said.
Okay, so it's no surprise that we're coming off of the heels of the news of Superman and Lois actually doing some pretty decent numbers. Yeah. Right? So Superman and Lois debuted about 4 or 5 days ago.
Yeah, it was this week.
Yeah. So we're coming off the heels of a huge debut. And now the CW Arrowverse has very few of those lately, right? Yeah. Where everyone's talking about a show on the CW, right? We've kind of they haven't had a newer show in since Black Lightning, I believe.
I've never seen that.
Black Lightning's decent, right? But this didn't gain as much traction as Superman and Lois has. Yeah. And when Tyler Hoechlin's Superman was in Supergirl, we heard people noticed that Superman was going to be in a show. However, once they saw his version of it, the heat of it died down. Yeah. I didn't enjoy him. I didn't find his Superman to be compelling. I didn't find his Superman to fit the grand scheme of what Superman should be.
Yeah.
But I wasn't opposed to him playing Superman. Yeah. It just wasn't for me. And I looked up to Henry Cavill and was like, that's my Superman right there. Henry Cavill is my Superman. And
he's still my Superman.
Yeah. And it's no surprise that once they saw that a good Superman, like what they deemed to be a good Superman, could gain like the Twitter sphere, and people were talking about Superman again, and in a good way. Everyone, mostly was overwhelmingly positive, except the Snyder people were like, listen, like we had a Superman, and now you guys are the ones that are keeping him from coming back. Right? Yeah. You guys haven't negotiated with him. He's said it several times that he's open to continue playing the character. It's just you guys haven't opened the negotiations up, or at least in the public's eye, we don't know. So I was happy with the Superman we had. I didn't think it needed to be fixed because it wasn't broken. Yeah. So I am a little bit worried, I guess, in in a sense that with the hatred of the Snyderverse by Warner Brothers, could this be an attempt at a complete rewrite?
Yes, and this is what I fear is going to happen. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and say it. This is what I think. This is what I know is going to happen, especially with Ta-Nehisi Coates writing it. We don't know who's directing it. JJ is not directing it as of yet. He's producing it. Bad Robot is producing it.
Yep.
That anyone who tweets like I did earlier, Henry Cavill Superman, anyone who says restore the Snyderverse and bring Henry Cavill back, it will be framed as these are fans who are against a black Superman. I've seen it happen in the media too many times, and we already know that there are elements in the media that don't like the Snyderverse. They take the worst actors of the ones who've done some horrible things, tweeting at people and said, "Oh, that's what the Snyderverse fans are like. That's what the Snyder cult, as Jody calls them, are like. They're a bunch of racist white guys in the basement. Racist white guys like Fiona Zhang and Ping Pong Flicks and me,
right?
And I'm afraid because I know Ta-Nehisi Coates. That's the type of label he throws that if you disagree with this perception, is because you're part of the quote unquote white problem. I hate talking about this type of stuff, but I know him. I've watched him for many years, and all of a sudden it can be turned against us that, oh, you're just against having a black Superman. No, that's not what it is. We want Henry Cavill. We like Henry Cavill. Look, I will see the movie. I have no doubt he will write something interesting and fascinating. But I'm also like, look, you got Ben Affleck and Robert Pattinson. Let's have Henry Cavill and Calvin Gellis. And I hope it's Michael B. Jordan or someone like him, a strong black actor. I would love to see it. But I think that's how this narrative is going to go. And then Warner Brothers is going to be like, see, these racists over here, they don't want to see a black Superman because they're all racist. Like, we've seen this happen a lot. And I feel like I can say this openly. But yes, because I'm a person of color, I don't buy that type of thing. Superman being white has nothing to do with why I love him or Henry Cavill. He's a good actor,
And listen, the race thing, I don't know who this guy is. I get that. I get what the world we live in today. It's easy to spin a narrative, and it's easy to do that because you can just assume, right? Everyone just assumes that if we want Henry Cavill back as Superman, that means what we don't want is their creation of a black Superman. Those aren't together, but it's easy to paint the picture that the dots cross, right? We
had Scott McClellan on a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking about that binary thinking, right?
Right.
That thing like, oh, if you don't like Pop Culture Corner, it's because you hate Pop Culture Corner. Remember I made the joke, oh, Tyler has a dog, that means he hates cats. Like, people all of a sudden like attribute what they think you are, while allowing yourself to explain yourself. So look, I'm interested. My interest is piqued. I still want to see who's going to direct it. There are a lot of up-and-coming African-American directors, and it should be directed by an African-American director. I think, why not?
Would you be opposed to bringing in Michael B. Jordan? He has been heavily interested in the idea.
Yeah, why not? He really impressed me in Black Panther.
I think
he should have been nominated for an Oscar. He was not, which is a shame. He was really damn good in that role. Yeah,
and I think one way to all right, so let's paint a picture that's the best of both worlds, right? So we get the Snyderverse continues and it's on HBO Max, right? Henry Cavill stays with Snyder on HBO Max. We finish our arc, we finish our hero's journey, and Superman gets the story he always deserved, right? Yeah. But somewhere in the multiverse, we have Michael B. Jordan as Superman in the movies with a cousin, Sasha Calle, right? Or maybe Sasha Calle is tied to Henry Cavill. I don't know. Maybe that's not as important. But I don't think that's a terrible thing. I don't. No,
but
maybe I'm an optimist.
The optimist is me saying multiverse. You're going to have, you know what? Even if they did an African-American Superman as the theaters and they left Henry Cavill on HBO Max, I'm fine with that. Like they do like a Man of Steel 2 on HBO Max, I'm fine with that. Just like you have Tyler and you have Henry and you got Ben and you got Robert Pattinson, that's fine. But I do feel this is Warner Brothers they are not happy I'm telling you right now, Warner Brothers Pictures is not happy about how big the Snyder Cut is doing because it is making a lot of people look bad.
Yeah, and
if they want to win, they should cast Ray Fisher as Superman. Just be like, yeah, now what? Then you're like, oh crap, that's not going to happen. But
listen, I don't want to, and we talked about this with Lightcast. I don't want to think that Warner Brothers is literally looking at this as a bad thing. It's the optimist in me again. I don't want to see that Warner Brothers could potentially be looking at the Snyder Cut like a bad thing. Like for some reason that itches me the wrong way, right?
Yeah.
As a human being, I know I make mistakes, right? If I was Warner Brothers, if I was the head of Warner Brothers, I would have just been like, hey guys, I'm sorry. We did some stuff wrong, but hey, here's the Snyder Cut. We're gonna work with you, not against you. However, that's not how life works, right? People are conniving. People are, they don't want to look like the weaker person, or they don't want to look bad on a decision they made 4 years ago. So there, maybe that's, again, maybe it's the optimist in me, but I am hoping that they're not pushing the Snyderverse into a well and kind of closing the lid on it. I am hoping
a cul-de-sac, you might say.
Yeah, the blocking off the cul-de-sac with the police barriers. I hope that's not what they're doing. I think it's too early to start making assumptions, right? We have to give the benefit of the doubt. We have to remain calm, if that's a way to say it, right? Don't start attacking because then they just get there. So if the Snyder Cut, or let's dub it, right? What does Jody call us? If the Snyder cult starts attacking Warner Brothers, then we're doing exactly what they want.
That's what I'm afraid of. Yeah.
Right. We're doing exactly what they want because they want to be able to point at us and make us look bad. Right. Look at them. We announced that there's a new Superman movie, something they've been clamoring for years. And as soon as we do it, they attack us. Right.
Exactly.
So they want to make us look bad.
I think they want to do that. And what did I tweet today? I just tweeted Henry Cavill Superman, restore the Snyderverse. But then they're going to take that and say, oh, they just don't. Look, culturally speaking, we're in a void right now. For the first time, there was a big budget superhero movie with a black cast. People talk about Blade and stuff like that, but Blade was a moderate budget. They weren't putting $200 million to make Blade.
Right.
But Marvel made Black Panther. They found an actor in Chadwick Boseman, who was amazing in that role. I loved him. I was hoping he would be the new leader of the Avengers moving forward, kind of. He has passed away. And all of a sudden you have a superhero universe that does not, DC and Marvel, that does not have a strong male lead, black lead.
Right.
A female could fill it, but right now I think Warner Brothers is like, why don't we do Black Superman? Why don't we do Calvin Ellis? And they want, I hope that's where they're going with this. But part of me feels with the announcement of Sasha Calle, the firing of Ray Fisher, and now this feels I feel, maybe it's the paranoid person in me, a sense of vindictiveness. This is like, hey, forget Henry Cavill. Can we just erase him out of your mind? We're going to do a big film with because I don't know if they're going to do two big. I can't see them doing two theatrical Superman movies, one with Henry Cavill and one with J.J. Abrams. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I don't see that happening unless they do a crossover or whatever. And again, I say it again, Henry Cavill is hot right now. He is on fire. He's popular. Everyone knows his name. They didn't know his name 6 years ago, 5 years ago, but they know his name now. When you say Henry Cavill, they know who you're talking about. Why would you not capitalize on that?
Right. And that's okay. So here's my problem with this whole thing. And I don't have many problems, right? I try to look at it from again, I've said this word a million times today, optimistic point of view. However, Black Adam, right? Black Adam, The Rock really wants to work with Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
How is, what's that going to entail? We really wanted Henry Cavill's Superman in some sort of Shazam future project. How is that going to happen now? We wanted Superman in the next Justice League-esque team-up movie, right? Mm-hmm. How is that going to happen? What are the possibilities here? Where do we go from here? Knowing what we know now, right? So do we still campaign? Do we still ask for Henry Cavill back?
Yes.
Or do we even have, because what I think Warner Brothers is aggravated about is that the fans basically made them make the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
And they don't want to keep letting us make decisions.
No.
Because that's not typically a studio doesn't let the fans make the decisions, right? That's not how it usually goes. So I think they're still a little salty about it.
I think it's just going to throw this is kind of connected to what you said, but when I told my dad just now they're making a black Superman, he's like, well, Superman was never black. But if they're going to do that, well, he doesn't read comics. He just knows Clark Kent. He doesn't know like what's happening in comics. Like if I mention Miles Morales, he's going to be like, who?
Right.
He's like, oh. And my dad does not follow DC News. He's like, oh, then they should cast The Rock. I'm like, oh, Dad, he's playing another character.
He doesn't
all
know.
All of a sudden it clicked. I'm like, holy crap. If they did a black Superman, and The Rock is half black, but he tends to identify more with his Samoan side, I would be like, yeah, I get it. I wouldn't be happy with I'd be like, oh, yeah, I totally get it. He is a megastar. He's the closest thing we have to a real Superman in life.
Yeah. No, definitely.
But going back to your point, I think part of my language, HBO Max should drop its big Game of Thrones dick and just say, you know what, we're going to greenlight Justice League 2 as a series. We're going to greenlight Man of Steel 2 as a series with Warner Media and just go ahead and do their universe.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. In fact, I would rather have maybe a 3-episode series of Man of Steel 2 with Henry Cavill than just a 2-hour movie that's going to come out in like 5. Yeah. The Ascended Ancient. I haven't read Ascended Ancient.
The Ascended Ancient, by the way, real quick story. So he posted a thing yesterday about if Sam Benjamin follows me, I will print it out and tape it on my door. And then Sam Benjamin saw it and said, cheeky, and followed him. And then he actually printed it out and put it on his door. And Sam Benjamin retweeted it. That was pretty funny, man.
That's great.
I loved it. And then,
Sam is so wonderful. I watched the Lightcast podcast because Ty's a big fan of Lightcast, and he's really gotten me into those guys. He's just so wonderful, like as an actor, as a person.
Yeah. I'm trying to work something out. By the way, so I did work something out with some Mark Pellegrino, who plays Lucifer on Supernatural, is going to come back in the next couple weeks. Do a show with us live. And then Liz Wonder, I reached out to yesterday because I can't message her. So I just kind of tweeted at her. And she said she's going to come on before the Snyder Cut as well.
Awesome.
And then, so it's going to be a fun couple weeks leading. Oh, and then Stephen Colbert from Screen Rant's going to also come on. So we have
you said Stephen Colbert for a second. I know who you mean, but I just immediately I was like, hey, wait, what?
So we have a good lineup of people coming on before the Snyder Cut. It's going to be a good time. Anyway, back to Black Superman.
Yeah, so Ascended Ancient made a point. He just don't make it political. This will be a political film, and there's nothing wrong with that. Black Panther was incredibly political, but it was a good movie. It can if a movie makes you think about things, even if you disagree with it. Let's say you're a conservative or Republican, it should still make you think. You don't have to be like, no, I don't want to watch it.
Yeah.
But I do have a prediction about one scene that's going to be in this movie. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be in this movie.
What is that?
Today is 4/23, February 26, 2021. I'm making this prediction. The script has not even been written. There will be a scene. They will find the angriest white cop who's going to fire a gun at an unarmed Superman, and it's going to bounce right off of him. I'm telling you right now, that scene will be in this movie because that's how Ta-Nehisi Coates writes. Okay. I know Ta-Nehisi. I'm telling you right now, that will be in the movie, and it could be a cool scene. But I'm telling you, that's that type of the way he is. He
just watched you say that, and he's like, "Yep, that's totally something I would do. Gonna get that in there." JJ, I got this fire scene, bro.
Yeah, actually, that could be a cool scene, But I'm telling you right now, that's how Ta-Nehisi is. Again, I like some of the things he says. I disagree with some of his bottom lines about race in America, but that's not neither here or there. I just hope it's not too much pontificate. Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Ta-Nehisi Coates. Okay.
It's like Tennessee, Ta-Nehisi.
Okay.
Ta-Nehisi is how my mom says Tennessee because she's got an accent.
Okay. All right. But yeah. So listen. Okay. So. Again, back to this whole thing. Yeah. So I don't think this is totally a bad thing. I listen, secretly, I'm not going to lie. Secretly, in the back of my mind, I've been hoping that they find a way to keep the whole Justice League on HBO Max and continue Snyder's continue Snyder's journey, I should say, or story arc. So basically, I'm thinking of it like maybe it's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing. 2 Supermans was inevitable, or 2 Supermen were inevitable.
Well, technically we have 3.
Well, technically we have 3, but then again, we look over at Batman. We're gonna have 3, 4, 5, 9 different Batman on screen at once. So the same way that we didn't get all upset that Robert Pattinson was playing Batman, right? Because we know that now, looking into it, that Robert Pattinson's Batman's here. Ben Affleck and / Michael Keaton for that one movie are here, right? So maybe let's not jump to conclusions yet, because as of right now, Henry Cavill's still here.
Yeah.
And Tyler Hoechlin's still here.
To be fair, the difference with Robert Pattinson, when that was announced, Ben Affleck said he was gone.
Yeah.
And there was no Snyder cut. Like, it was just like, this is the world we live in. Like, there is no Snyder cut. Ben Affleck is gone. We just have to kind of move on. I think that was easier to swallow because when that was announced, they're doing a new Batman. It's going to be a different Batman. Ben Affleck is out. Snyderverse. There's no Snyder cut coming, folks. That was the mindset. Now, because we know it's coming, I am starving for another Ben Affleck Batman movie. I am starving for Henry Cavill as Superman, and I want to see Justice League too. And maybe it's us fans, being too greedy, but why not? I'm willing to. Ty, tell me that all of us are not going to only watch Justice League Snyder Cut, but we're going to buy that on Blu-ray and 4K. Like, we are willing to spend money on this.
I don't even collect posters. I don't even collect physical media, but I'm going to buy like 4 copies of it just to have it, I'm going to put one here, one there. One will be the used one, right? One will be this is the one we use, and then the other one will go in like a shadow box. So yeah, I mean, I hear you. Listen, this is how we do it.
I'm gonna get like the collector's edition. If there's like a $200 collector's edition, I'm buying that.
This is how we do it. This is how we do it. You know how we fix this? We all watch the Snyder Cut on HBO March 18th, March 19th, March 20th, March 21st, March 22nd. You just watch it. You tell other people to watch it. You get your grandmother to watch it, your sister, your cousin, your neighbor, your mailman. Hashtag get the people in Wandavision and Westview to watch it. Everyone that you should be telling them to watch the Snyder Cut. That sends a signal.
Folks, I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I have a friend at Bonks, right? He's not a friend. He's a customer. He's like, I didn't like BVS. I'm like, do you see the Ultimate Edition? He's like, no. I've been telling him for months to watch the Ultimate Edition. He's like, I don't want to watch it. Well, maybe I will. I said, look, we're doing a podcast tomorrow. We're interviewing Warner Brothers executive. I said, as soon as that's over, get your ass to my house. I will order pizza, watch the Ultimate Edition with me. Because he loves Watchmen. He loves 300. He liked Man of Steel, but he didn't like I'm like, come to my house because I wanted. But you know what he said? He's like, honestly, I want to watch the Snyder Cut with you. I'm like, well, I'm watching it at 2 a.m. He's like, oh, well,
with
that's a shame.
With an asterisk next to it, because we don't.
With an asterisk next to it. He's like, oh, that's a shame. I wanted to watch it with you. I'm like, well, I'm going to watch it again. I'm not watching it once. And
he's going to once and wrap it up. Yeah, I'm good. That was good. No, we're going to watch it 103 times. We will be doing a show all day on the March 18th. Whenever it starts, 2 hours before that, we'll start the pre-show. Yeah. And all day after that will be the post-show. Because we're talking about it all day.
Bonks, the owner wasn't there yesterday, but I think what we're going to do is, if it is 2 a.m., the bars close at like 1 because of lockdown, there. He will let me stay. Okay. So what I can do is, it'll be St. Patrick's Day, so we have to figure out how loud it will be. But so you guys will be in Boston. I will be at Bonks. I don't know if we start like 11 o'clock, hypothetically. We will stay there, and then let's say I leave at like 1:30 so we can watch the movie, and then I'll do the rest of the show from here. But folks, again, I know we don't have to say this to Snyder fans. Don't pirate the movie, but number 2, you need to watch this movie. You need to help spread the word. You have to, and we have a project to help explain the Snyder Cut to normies.
Yeah. This So I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you think that it's weird that this is coming out 3 weeks before the Snyder Cut comes out? This news?
Yeah, it does strike me as weird. Okay. I feel like,
and for all the people, like, listen, I don't like to get Alex Jones on everybody, right? I've said that a million times. How weird is this, though? How weird is all this stuff coming out right now? Is it coincidence? It's hard to do coincidences at every turn, right? So Sasha Kaye being announced after the international release.
And I was happy with that.
IGN Fan Fest is tomorrow. Snyder's going to be there. What did they drop the day before? Superman. A new Superman movie. That's not coincidence.
Yeah.
Right? This is starting to look really sketchy.
Insidious. It looks very insidious. Like, this sound seems very, you know what? This is not smart business. If you're Warner Brothers,
Warner Brothers hate their own company. That's what I can't figure out.
They just came, if the Snyder Cut comes out and they said, look, we made some bad decisions, look, blame it on Kevin Tsujihara. Just blame it on him. That's how politics works. Blame it on the last guy. Yeah. It was Obama's fault. It was Trump's fault. Whatever. Bush's fault. Just do that. Just say, yeah. You know what? This is the movie we should have released.
Yes.
You know.
But yeah. So that's the problem, though. Is Ray Fisher's not going to let anyone believe that. Ray Fisher keeps saying, remember, this wasn't Kevin Tsujihara's fault. It wasn't just Kevin's fault. It wasn't just Joss's fault. It was Jeff Johns. It was John Berg. It was everybody involved fault. And they still have yet to pay the price for it. So Ray Fisher's not letting this go anytime soon. Do you think that Ray Fisher is ever coming back as Cyborg?
Again, I think it all depends on how big the Snyder Cut is.
Yeah.
If it's so huge. And look, I already think that some critics have written their reviews. What I mean is, like, I can already see fans putting...
But this time, Snyder doesn't care about what critics think.
Yeah.
This is not a movie made for critics. This is a movie that's made for and by the fans.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it wasn't made by... You know what I mean, though.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, kind of.
Keely Chow, by the way, thank you for subscribing the other day. Very nice to have you. Oh, I haven't...
I'm seeing a lot of new names. Oh, my God. Prakesh Swain.
I have a couple updates as well for... Actually, just keep going. So, all right. So, Michael B. Jordan potentially as a black Superman in a J.J. Abrams world. Listen, again, J.J. Abrams, I have a feeling, what's the first villain J.J. Abrams would use? Most likely, Brainiac.
Yeah.
Brainiac's very... So J.J. Abrams is producing this movie. I guarantee he's going to gun for Brainiac. And I've always wanted to see Henry Cavill face off against Brainiac.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's...
How would you feel about them doing a Flashpoint thing where you have Henry Cavill and a new Superman? An African-American Superman? If they were smart. So you know how, like, you have Ben Affleck's Batman and Michael Keaton's Batman? What if in this new movie they do the multiverse thing? You have Henry Cavill's Superman meeting whoever, maybe Michael B. Jordan.
Oh yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I think the worry here is that they're just like, listen, you know what? This whole Snyder Cut thing's like really got us all butthurt, and we would like to move on from this whole Snyderverse, right?
Yeah.
And you know that universe. Yeah, that's what, like, Shazam. But the problem that what Warner Brothers is facing right now is they're looking at it and saying, okay, but our movies that came out after Man of Steel and BVS were Shazam, Birds of Prey, you know, those movies that are still taking place in the Snyderverse, they're built on the Snyderverse. I mean, in Birds of Prey, they loosely used Snyder's Gotham. In Suicide Squad, they 100% use Snyder's Gotham. So these movies that came out after, they were all based on the Snyderverse. So to rewrite the whole story in the Flashpoint is going to be a very hard task.
I hope that's not what they're doing. I hope that's not
hard thing to do.
Real quick, we have some Indians in the comment section, so I'm just going to say something. Namaste. जरूरी सब्सक्राइब करो. हम फेसबुक पे हैं, हम इंस्टाग्राम पे हैं. ये शो एवरी दिन होता है और हर हफ्ते हम 2 शो करते हैं. Support the Snyder Cut.
Did you just
I spoke to Hindi. I spoke in Hindi.
Did you just speak Klingon?
Klingon.
What the fuck was that? No,
yeah, man, we're international, right? Look at us. Yeah. We got fans from India. We got fans from England.
Keely Chow says, I still want Michael B. Jordan to be John Henry Irons / Steel in either a DCEU movie or an episode of Supergirl that will be a backdoor pilot for a spinoff centering around Steel. That's not a bad idea. I just don't know if Michael B. Jordan's willing to make the change to TV yet with such a high caliber name he has. Even though TV is a little different now, where big name actors aren't as skeptical to do TV because some TV is better than most movies that come into theaters.
And by the way, that trend started with Kiefer Sutherland. He was the guy who went from movies to TV and became a huge star. And then everyone started doing it.
But that's listen. I'd like to hear from everybody. Who would you cast as? And I don't want to say, because we don't know that for a fact, right? Black Superman. That's not.
Yeah, we don't know. I hope it is, just because I hope it's not replacing Clark Kent. And again, folks, those of you who don't know, the Black Superman is not Clark Kent. It is not Kal-El. It's a different character in the same way that Miles Morales is different than. But we don't know that. So
right.
But if this were to be Kal-El, Clark Kent, Kansas, if it were, and they were recasting Cavill, that's a dumb decision.
It is a dumb decision. Because if you're going to look for another high caliber name when you already have one of the biggest names there is at your disposal, not at your disposal, but you have him and you have a story already built around him, instead of backtracking. Because what did you say when the Amazing Spider-Man, or when Tom Holland Spider-Man, the Tom Holland one, I guess, is a little different. But when The Amazing Spider-Man came out, everyone was like, oh, another Spider-Man? I'm not sure. And then when Tom Holland got cast, they were like, they're doing another Spider-Man? People get really upset when...
And Tom is great.
When the same characters are done over and over again, right? So it's a little bit too soon to just start a new Superman, right? Another Clark Kent. It's a little too soon. People are gonna get weary of this. And if you want to kill the superhero genre, this is how you do it.
This is how you do it.
Right?
And by the way, look, Henry Cavill... He's 37. Okay, fine. He's maybe a little bit too old. Have you seen him in The Witcher? He is huge. He is like perpetually huge now. So before he did Superman, he was always kind of skinny, like in shape kind of guy. He has been huge perpetually. He was so big they had to get a costume change from when they started filming The Witcher season 1. He was so big. He is ridiculously big. He's staying in shape because he's waiting for that call.
Yeah.
You have a Superman. He's handsome. He's young. He's attractive. He's hot. Do it.
Yeah. Jack's all about Henry Cavill. I'm all about Henry Cavill. Listen, I don't swing that way, but I might for Cavill and Chris Evans. But so let me know in the comments who you would cast. Listen, let's go on the idea that it's not Kal-El, right? Who would you cast as an alternate version of Superman who happens to be black? Who would you cast as that person in a J.J. Abrams movie? And who do you think the villain would be of that story? I think I'm going to go with Michael B. Jordan / Brainiac, because I do believe that just as Henry Cavill is huge right now, Michael B. Jordan on the black community side of things, he's a huge star right now with doing Creed, with doing
Black Panther.
I almost said I almost called him T'Challa, but that's not his name. He was black in Black Panther. So I do think that that's kind of a no-brainer if that's the route that you want to go. But aren't there other black superheroes that we could get and do these movies for? Like, why do we have to have a Superman that's black? Why can't we? Is Spawn black? Right? Spawn's black.
Yeah.
Right. What do you? By the way, Blade, rumored to be PG-13. What do you think about that?
This is what I was afraid of.
Yeah,
like everyone was like so happy. The rights are back from Netflix. The rights are back from Fox. I'm also worried about Wolverine. I'm also worried about the Punisher. Daredevil does not have to be R-rated to be accurate. Yeah. But this is what I was kind of worried about. Because here's the thing. The generic MCU fans, the ones who don't read the comics, they'll watch a PG-13 Blade. They'll watch a PG-13 Punisher. They'll watch a PG-13 Wolverine. And, I give credit to Fox. They made Wolverine violent while still keeping it PG-13. Like Hugh Jackman would be cutting people up, but they used to kind of do it in a PG-13 way so you never saw the guy getting hacked. I am very worried. I'm very worried about this. I know that Deadpool, they're sticking with an R rating, but Blade kills vampires. The Punisher kills people. Like, these are not heroes in the traditional sense. And if you tone it down.
Yeah. So basically, make sure to like this video, like Nick Flick said. By the way, thank you, Nick, for throwing that in there. Yeah. So make sure you like the video. It does help the YouTube algorithm. If you are new to the channel, which I don't see any new names here, it's mostly the regulars today. That's good.
Back there is back.
Make sure you subscribe and become a patron. All the links are in the description. Back to it. Listen.
Oh, by the way, how do you feel? I'm going to steal your Green Lantern choice of John Boyega. I don't know how
John
tall he is.
Boyega wouldn't be a bad Superman, actually. A black Superman. That would be a bad idea. However, I'm still campaigning for him as Green Lantern.
Yeah.
As Jon Stewart. So, oh, Rasha, you on Twitch, girl? What?
John Boyega is short. He's 5'9".
Yeah,
not that there's nothing wrong with that height. I'm just saying he's not. He's not.
They've done other things where they like film it from a different angle, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah. Listen, I don't know. I'm IGN Fan Fest is tomorrow. I would like to live stream and watch it together before our podcast with the Warner Brothers guy. I'm not sure how you guys are feeling about that, but Snyder's going to be there, and Snyder's going to be probably dropping some footage. So I figure maybe we could watch that together before the podcast. Does anyone know what time that's starting?
I think it's 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but what's it called? IGN
Fan Fest. I'd like to do a live stream and watch that watch party. So if you guys are interested in that.
I'm working tomorrow morning, but
you don't have to.
My client,
I don't care.
Yeah, but you want Drip there. You want Drip there to be like, this is so stupid. Oh, this is so bad. 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I can jump in.
I could do it myself too, though. I don't mind.
All right, okay.
I can talk to myself all day, but you can join. I thought you were going to be there. I forgot you work 19 days
I work
a
Saturdays,
week now.
But I can jump in. Like I can get. My client is kind of cool with me now, so if I say I got to leave early, he'll let me go. It took 3 weeks, but he's getting a little,
All right. So there is another big thing that happened yesterday, and that was that's not that. It's this one. Thoughts on WandaVision episode 8? Have you watched it?
I watched it this morning, and it made me sadder than I thought it actually would.
Yep. Before we go any further, remember that we're about to take the train into Spoiler Town for WandaVision. If you haven't seen the series, if you haven't seen episode 7 or 8, you should probably back out now.
But it was weird.
That's right. It was a weird episode, but I thought I liked it a little bit. We did get a lot of reveals. We even got a little, that's the Scarlet Witch. We got her name dropped.
Yeah, that was a huge moment. By the way, that totally had to do with the fact that they now own Fox, because Fox had the rights to the mutants. That's why I thought, so real quick, guys, 10 seconds. If you haven't watched this episode, you might want to.
Well, I already did it. It's already done.
I know, but still, I want to say.
If you look at the promo art for this, when they showed it in the beginning, they lightened the hue.
Yeah.
Because if they didn't lighten the hue, we would have known that was the Mind's, the stone.
Mm-hmm.
Not the Mind's. I called it the Mind Stone. But so here, see how it's blue?
Yeah.
Well, when it actually debuted last night, it was deep purple. Yeah. Deep purple. So they changed that to kind of give us a thrown off aspect of it. Like I said, it did break, and then we saw WandaVision.
I love that shot.
Not WandaVision. We saw Wanda looking at herself as a silhouette. It seems, and it seems what they're doing here is Scarlet Witch is actually a title of almost like a forthcoming. What is it? Prophecy.
A prophecy.
It's like which I thought was pretty cool. And we finally heard the name, and I said it. I said this on Nicotina's stream when we first started the show. I said we are going to get her as her final name, the Scarlet Witch, in this series, because they had mentioned how she didn't have another name. Last night, by the way, they were doing so. Last night, right? WandaVision ends, right? And I go to get back on Nicotina's stream, and all of a sudden, I forgot that the utility poles were being worked on. They told us Monday. And I just totally drew a blank on it. 4 a.m. All of a sudden, the lights just all shut off at once.
Oh my God!
No!
In winter?
Yeah. Well, they do it in the middle of the night because they don't want to shut your power off during the day when everybody's awake. They do it when you're sleeping. But what did you think? What did everyone think of last night's episode? I thought it was actually. See, I'm a sucker for tie-in episodes, right?
Yeah.
Like things that tie into other spots. So whereas I wasn't as happy last week, I'm actually pretty happy this week.
I thought, because look, when they were implying that Wanda might have had her powers before the stone.
Before, right? Because
I thought they were going to introduce the idea of mutants for a second. I thought that's where they were going because
they already had. That's a wink, wink. That's kind of what they're doing.
Okay, they didn't use the word mutant,
mind.
but I thought that's where they were going. They were going to use that M word, but when I heard Scarlet Witch, I literally cheered. I'm like, woo! Before I was like, woo! My sister's like, what happened? I'm like, they used the name Scarlet Witch, and my sister's like, who's that? I'm like, shut up.
Yeah.
But that was a great moment. By the way, what's her name? Catherine Hahn?
Catherine Hahn killed it.
She is beautiful. She is wonderful.
They used that
she's great. I love
technology on her.
Yeah, they did. You
could see it in the beginning. They used the Samuel L. Jackson age bringer backer that every woman in the world wants to have at their disposal.
And she's so talented because I always knew her. She's always in the background of like those Will Ferrell movies. Like I first remember her from like Anchorman. She's the one who tells Veronica. Have you guys seen Anchorman?
No one's seen Anchorman here.
No, well, you never know. But she's the one who tells Veronica, like, Ron Burgundy will read anything on a teleprompter. When I say anything,
oh, she is that person, isn't it?
Anything. God, that's how I always remember her face because I always thought she had like a very beautiful face. But like, she would always be the background character. I think she's in Step Brothers also. I might be wrong, but she's always a background character.
She's in Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
She's great. She is a wonderful actress. I think she's really killing the character. So, okay, here's the thing that I got from Agatha, right? And that's the part that I was having a struggle with when I was talking to Nicotina and all them. Because Agatha isn't actually like all bad, right?
Yeah.
She actually, in some storylines, if not most, is actually trying to help Wanda become the true potential that Wanda has. So there was a little bit of a hint of it that like she wasn't malicious about it until the end when she had Wanda's kids like by the neck. And then says that like, but she has a motive. She has a motive and she knows what she wants. She wants to know how Wanda's doing this because she wants that magic for herself. Right. But she found out it's not magic.
Well, so that was what I was going to ask. So that's my question. Is it possible that in the MCU, so generally in folklore, witches channel black magic. They're essentially talking to the devil to get power, right? What if in the MCU, witches aren't doing that, but they're actually mutants? That those women who were killed in Salem and all that were actually women who had power, who were castigated because they were women who had supernatural abilities, but they were actually mutants. Do you think that's the direction they could go in the MCU?
Right. And she did mention Quicksilver, but she didn't mention. So she gave us. I think what she said about Quicksilver was meant to throw people off because what she says is, I couldn't find your brother's on a different continent and he had a bunch of holes in him. She said not your brother. But I still think this is the Fox X-Men Quicksilver because
I'm hoping. That's what I was just typing right now. Yeah. Quick thing. I'm a little bit confused about something. So we learned in this episode that the vision she created was out of her mind. She like did something with her body. And then at the end, we see that they have Vision's body. But I swore in an earlier episode, they said that Wanda stole Vision's body. Or am I confusing things?
They did.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's what I'm a little confused about as well.
Yeah, I thought they said she broke it and she stole the body.
I think that they were making it up though, because remember they were talking to
Tyler Hayward.
Yeah, they were talking to the other. They were talking to Monica, Jimmy Woo. So they didn't want to say that this was an out for them, right? This was an out. So they were like, "Hey, listen, she stole Vision's body. That way they wouldn't get caught doing what they were doing, which is creating." Which is creating White Vision.
So Gavin is saying it's because Hayward is an asshole. By the way, this is stupid, but one of my best friends growing up, his name is Tyler also. His name is Tyler Howard. And I just thought it's funny because this guy's name is Tyler Hayward. But now that I'm thinking about it, it's possible because, look, they showed us. She went to go see Vision. She wanted his body. She left. She went to Westview, and then she started doing this thing. She never stole his body. So you're right. Maybe they just made it up to kind of like, make her a scapegoat. Like, oh, this evil woman came because remember the Avengers are gone. There's no Captain America or Tony Stark who's going to come and protect her. She's kind of on her own. She not only lost Vision, she didn't only lose her brother, her parents. She also lost the Avengers. They're gone.
Yeah. So do you think that this vision that she created could leave? That's why he couldn't leave the Hex, because he's not real. He's a creation of Wanda's. So they're literally pulling from the comic source here with the whole White Vision thing. The White Vision. So White Vision was created. So after Wanda has their kids, blah, 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 Vision, something happens to Vision. He dies. I don't want to ruin it. But then the White Vision thing happens, and I'm not going to spoil that either. But he has no memory of the kids or Wanda.
Yeah.
And that's what makes her go crazy, right? Like that was like the last straw for her. So they're pulling from good source material here.
But what's interesting about Vision, we didn't see Vision this week, at least the Vision from the last few episodes. When he's on his own, he's acting like Vision. So we know Wanda's controlling people's thoughts and stuff. It seems that the Vision in Westview acts and thinks like Vision. He tries to save people. So I'm wondering, maybe it's not like, maybe it's a figment of, but maybe when she did something in Infinity War, when she drew she was destroying the
stone,
the Mind Stone.
Yeah.
Maybe she absorbed some of her vision. Maybe there was some kind of transfer, because he seems to be sentient. He's not doing just what she wants. He's trying to, he talks to Agatha. He's trying to like help these people.
Yeah.
So
because he does have parts of himself in there.
Yeah.
Right.
So remember what Bruce Banner said. You're an overlay of a lot of construct. Me, Tony, Ultron, the Stone. Maybe there's more to you than just the four of us. And I'm thinking the best parts of, remember in the Infinity War, the best parts of Vision may not be the Stone. It may not be Tony. It may not be Ultron. It may not be Bruce Banner. But the best parts of Vision are in Wanda right now.
Could be. That's actually not bad at all.
Yeah.
But I do think that the Vision is more than just a stone, right?
Exactly.
And there's a reason that they hinted towards that, right? Because, and I'm kind of glad they did now, because I think they've had these thoughts on expand, whether it was on Disney Plus or whether it was in a movie in the future, but they were going to expand on this whole, Vision and Wanda thing. Now that Disney Plus is a thing, they have an avenue to tell that story, but I think they were always going to tell this story. So I think that Vision was becoming more sentient, right? The stone allowed him to have feelings, have all these things, but that's really, the stone was more of his soul, right?
Yeah.
So without that, he was always going to be missing something.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see how Wanda goes about this in the future. And will we ever get the Vision back?
Yeah. The scene that touched me the most was when she's in her room alone. She's in the Avengers compound, and I'm assuming this is before Civil War. And he walks in
after Age of Ultron.
Yeah, and he sits down next to her. And you think they're going to kiss or something, but they don't. But you realize that, okay, she lost, because we never see the death of her parents.
Yeah.
We saw Quicksilver die. But for most of that movie, she was a villain. But this really humanized her. It showed her, like, and again, they explained the whole sitcom things. By the way, this is very accurate. I have family in Pakistan. They watch a lot of old American TV shows because that's all they'll show. Like, stuff like Leave It to Beaver, I Love Lucy, where it was very clean cut, stuff. And this is what her family was watching during a war zone. They just sat together. They watched, what's that show? Dick Van Dyke, The Honeymooners,
Van Dyke,
Brady Bunch.
So that's it. I'm glad that they did that, and it made more sense.
Beautiful.
She was creating those as parts. That's why we were seeing what we were seeing, is because those memories were truly special to them. And then I don't know if you noticed, but they finished with Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah.
Right. Which we did a whole Malcolm in the Middle show. So the next episode is really hinges. So I don't think we're getting Mephisto. I think we all, like I said from the beginning, you either do him early on or you don't do him at all. He's not a character that you introduce in the last 2 minutes of episode 9. Do it in a post-credit scene. I guess that's a little bit better. That's fine with me. But Mephisto deserves a character arc.
Yeah.
Right? A storyline. Or a potential season 2 of WandaVision. Clearly, we're getting deeper into the story. Right, with the remake of Vision, this story could continue. Whereas everyone on Nicotina Channel thinks that they couldn't possibly be doing a season 2, but the door is still far the door is very much open for more of this.
And season 2 may not be next year. It might be after 1 or 2 movies come out. You know what I mean? Like, and WandaVision season 2 could be completely different.
Yeah.
From the sitcom thing.
Yeah. But yeah, so episode 9 is going to be a real trip. I really can't wait for it.
Gladly say I have no effing clue what's going to happen in episode 9. And I'm actually happy to say that I don't know how it's going to end.
Yeah. And so next week is the Kundala, or how do you say that?
Kumbaya.
Next week is the grand finale of WandaVision. So be prepared for all the stops to be
I have a theory on how it's going to end.
Well, we only have 2 minutes left, and I need to plug all this stuff to get out of here.
Plug your thing. All right, then.
You can definitely. We'll be talking about it on streams coming up. But guys, thank you for watching today. That is all the time we have for you today. I didn't even get to read my tweet responses today. That's how much talking we did about all this other stuff. But that's okay. That's okay. Sometimes that's how it happens, you know. But make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you're returning, consider becoming a patron. It does help towards the success and the production of the show. It also helps towards little things like new equipment and being able to quit my job or quit all of our jobs eventually. Thank you for tuning in. Tonight, we do have a watch party starting at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Head over to the post section of YouTube or Twitter and cast your vote for which movie that we watch tonight. It's going to be a good time. We're going to be doing a watch and talk. So we'll be talking about certain things. The choices are Transformers, Sin City, and Godzilla King of the Monsters. Or fourth one is insert your choice here, which, that's just there for your own benefit. Yeah. Then tomorrow we have Warner Brothers representative and journalist Marcel Friday coming on. That's going to be a fun show, but we'll be doing a watch party for the IGN Fan Fest. Guys, tomorrow we're going to have a good time. So make sure you tune in for all of it. We do it for you. We do it for the culture. Bada bing, bada boom. I'll see you tonight. Tonight.